guys, Deathscyp here from Y.C.G, your casual gamer, and welcome back to Season 3, Deathscyp Factory. So to start up, we're going to finish up what we had in Season 2. So we have that elevator scene, well, lift. There's a lift that brings you down after you finish the level to this elevator scene. So from here, the elevator comes up to pick you up.
Destiny.
And then when you get inside, it goes down and it goes to a fade out, saying that you are done the level. Now we are going to recreate this from scratch. So don't worry if you haven't been following the episode for now, but I'm going to be going quick with it. I'm not going to stop and explain everything since we already covered each of these subjects. So it's going to be a 3-part. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, let's get started. So first of all, if you've been following my episode, this is what you got over here, a room that has a trigger volume and a platform. So let's just move these on the side, just so we get started. And my level is made in BSP brush. So if you already know how BSP brush works, this is how it looks. The reason I use the BSP brush is only because I wanted to tile the MTech panel material, or whatever material you're using on your wall, the way I wanted it. For the scale. Now that we have a BSP over here, all you need is a static mesh, because when you're going to start using matinee sequence, you need a static mesh to do it. And since my floor over here is BSP, it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is make sure you're on the right level for this. We're going to drag in a brand new geometry BSP. The measures for X is 500 and for Y I believe it's 745. Then you're going to put the brush type to subtractive. That way you're going to be able to make that hole in the ground. Don't worry about making it so precise. That's pretty much how I did over here, like that. Maybe more. Maybe it's not 500 per se, maybe it's 495. But for the precise number, we can take care of this after. As long as you're covering the hole, that's what's important. Now that you have that, let's make a copy of the BSP brush you just did. So Alt drag a new copy. And let's scale the Z to 45 and change it back to additive. So this is going to be your platform. And the reason I want to use a BSP again is for the tiling. I'm going to have my floor tile over here, concrete from the starter content. I'm going to put it on top. And before I create the static mesh, I'm going to change the tiling from to 2 and 2. And align it to floor, of course, and apply. Now it's going to save the tiling and the memory when I create my static mesh. So let's create this, call it props, and I'm going to call it a big lift. Big. Whoops. It looks like I did it already once, so let's do it a second time. Okay, now what you're going to need is to open the mesh editor and add a collision, or else you're not going to have any. Add a simple box simplified. Everything here I cover in my episode, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. You can always go check something slower that I showed before. So drag this here, and you're ready to make your sequence. Can tile up a little bit. Really, for the details, that's up to you. How you want it to look is up to you. I'm here to show you guys how to make these things. If I take too much time making details, then it's going to be too long and nobody's going to want to watch that. Now let's drag back in our trigger volume and the winning platform, which is in my case, if you don't have it, all I did is I took the table that we have in the starter content and I added my black and yellow stripe line. That's going to be in the description below where to get it for free. And I put it on the table. That's really just I did. And for the trigger volume, again, make sure that it's inside the right level. And it's right here on top, trigger volume. And that's what you need to call your matinee sequence. And before we do anything with that, let's create our matinee sequence. So now that it is a static mesh, we're going to be moving it downward. So we need to change this to movable. Same for the platform, make sure it's movable. Then we're going to go in semantic, add matinee sequence, and make sure that you're selected on the platform New empty group, call it lift. Make it add a new movement track, and let's put it to, I don't know, 5 seconds, like that. Press enter to add another mark and drag it down. So you see I already did a hole in the wall over here. So I'm just going to line it up with that. If you're wondering what I did over here, again, it's in the BSP brush setting, and my measures are right here, 120 by 85, 220. That normally makes any type of basic character fit in the wall. Now let's do the same thing for the platform. So go back up, select the platform, add a new empty group, call it platform, and add a movement track. Same thing over here. At 5, we're going to add a mark, and we're going to bring it down, all the way down, like that. So now let's make sure those two are in line. And now if I put it here and I watch the playback, it should work nice and dandy. So it goes down, they're both in line, and they finish up at the same time. So there we go. Now you can stop this and exit the matinee sequence. Now that we have a matinee sequence, make sure to locate it in your level. To do that, just go in the world outliner, write matinee. For me, that's this one over here. Let's put it to the side, just so we have an eye on it. And make sure that's selected on it. And while you're at it, control click the trigger volume as well. And now let's go inside our level blueprint. For me, I'm using streaming level, so this is the level I'm playing with. If you're not, you're using your main level, you're going to go inside the open level blueprint tab and go inside it. Make sure you're selected on both of the actors you were on, and now you're going to do a right click. Oh, actually that won't work because I need this one over here on the trigger volume. I need to make an event. The event is going to be add event collision on begin overlap. That's it. And this one I need a reference for. Compile and save, and then the rest is going to be in here. So when the player overlaps the trigger volume, you want to make sure that this happens only once, so do once. This node only carries the whatever happens after once, so you can't spam it. And from the matinee sequence, you're going to play. Now for the sound, we're going to add it in the third part of the video. So if you were just wondering about the lift, you can jump right away to the third part, because the second part is going to be, we're going to build the elevator. So now let's see if that works. I'm going to jump inside level. Of course, if you're using the level streaming method, make sure to go inside the level details and go for the 2-2 and make sure that it's initially loaded and initially visible. Also, make sure you don't have any player start anywhere in your levels, because it's going to interfere with where you want to start your game. I press play, go inside. Now if I go here, you're going to see that the matinee sequence answers the call, and you're ready for the next part.